Alright, David Harry here, and in this video I shall be doing an unboxing of an Elgato 4K60 Pro Mark II. So as we can see on the front, it's basically saying capture 4K HDR flawlessly. Well, to be honest, I've been using the Mark I version of this and it does record flawlessly, although I don't record HDR, and also the Mark I doesn't record HDR anyway, but this one apparently does all full HDR and stuff. Now, if the Mark I is anything to go by, this is just going to be fantastic, but it adds a few extra things that the Mark I can't do. Now, if you have a look down here, it's saying 4K 60 HDR capture, 240 Hz pass through. Now I'm assuming that's going to be up to 240 Hz pass through. So basically whatever it is that you're ingesting here, whatever the frequency is or the frame rate of the incoming signal, it will pass that straight out the output, but will then extract 60 frames per second or up to 60 frames per second from the incoming signal. Also, this has got the ability to be a low profile card as well, and I'll show that when I take all the bits out. And then it's got this thing, instant game view, which I'm not entirely sure what that's about, because to be honest, I don't actually do streaming and stuff with these things. I actually use these purely just for capturing. Okay, so let me have a little look around here. So that side of the box is just telling us once again what it is. That side of the box is giving us some little pictures here of what's in the box and stuff like that. Let's have a look at the back here. Okay, so the back there is just going to be telling us more of the same and whatnot. So let me just get into this. Now the camera may go a little defocused and stuff at points here, but let me just get into this. And I suppose the important thing is just to show you what's in the box. Alright, so there is the inner box. So let me just flip that open, and there's a bit more information there as well, and what looks like, you know, diagrams for setups and stuff like that. So once again, just pause that if you need to have a little look at that. So the first thing I'm going to take out here is this, and this is a low profile bracket. So what this will allow you to do is to change the bracket on the card itself, so you can swap it out into a low profile computer as well. So that's really good for anybody who's using a low profile PC. You can adapt the card to low profile. Okay, now there is a little badge sticker thing there. Will that come out easily enough? Let's see. Oh, I'm going to struggle with this one. Okay, so there's a badge, so you can stick that on your computer and stuff, or wherever you want to put the badge. And then here is the card itself. Now I'll take it out of the wrapper in a second, but immediately I can feel a huge difference in the weight on this one. Let me put that to one side. Now there's a little bit of a Elgato manually type thing. Maybe that's just a contact sheet thing. And then in here, if there's anything in here, oh yeah. So there we have a USB cable as well. So this is going to be a proper high-speed cable as well, capable of doing anything that the card is capable of. So I wouldn't be worrying as to whether or not, you know, you've got the right cable to ingest things into the card. This cable that comes with it will definitely do it. So there's a quick look at all the stuff that comes in the box. So what I'm going to do now is start getting into the 4K 60 Pro Mark II. Okay, so this should just be a simple case of ripping open this wrapper and let's get inside it. Now, like I say, I've just noticed immediately that this feels quite a bit different in weight compared to the Mark I. In fact, let me just pull the camera out here a bit, and then let me just get the Mark I in the shot. Yeah, there's actually a huge difference in the size. Do you know what? I actually thought, looking at the pictures for this, I literally thought that it was basically the Mark I, but just like shorter here. So I thought it was going to be as long, but if we look at that, it is substantially different. Okay, so there we have it then. Just a very simple unboxing of the Elgato 4K60 Mark II, and also some of the bits of information which people may find interesting. But I do have to say right now, it feels like a completely different card to the Mark I version. Now, obviously, this is just the next stage of evolution with Elgato's 4K60. But it feels like it's more than just one generation higher as far as its size and its weight is concerned. And when you also consider as well that this has got a little bit more functionality compared to the Mark 1, it is absolutely mind-boggling how Elgato have managed to go to this size and weight within just the step of, like, you know, one variation. I think this is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm off to play some games and stuff right now because I've got my nephew down and he's dying to play some stuff, so I'm going to throw this in and film things or capture stuff. Anyways, I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Welcome23 and you're joining me for an unboxing. What is in this box? Let's go ahead and find out. One of the first things you'll notice is the Elgato 4K60 Pro. It is the latest and greatest to buy them. It is a lot smaller than the predecessor. Just be careful with the back. It's a lot more fragile and delicate. And this does get plugged into a PCIe slot on your motherboard, so make sure you have one of those. You also have a different faceplate in case you need to switch it up for a smaller hard drive. Then you also have the little paper booklet, and then an HDMI cord. By the way, this is a little smaller than the usual HDMI cords. I would say unless you have your console of your choice that you'll be using this on near your computer, to definitely pick up a different HDMI cord. You, by the way, will need two of them, one of which from your console that will go into this, and then from this out to your monitor or television. So do keep that in mind. So why choose this piece of hardware? Well, disclaimer, this is not sponsored at all. This was purchased with cold hard cash, and well, I've been using Elgato Antique. Really, it is. This isn't even the S series. This is the original bad boy. Long story short, this had two HDMI ports. It also had a very lengthy cord that plugged into your USB port. So I decided to go with the latest and greatest because I've been using this thing for even PlayStation and Switch content, and you know, especially with PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and even possibly a new Switch on the horizon. That is coming out in less than a month. It was time. It was time to go with it. And so I'll go ahead and show you what I've been dealing with. So the following were screens captured with the HD60. And I thought I'd share those. They're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. This is on PlayStation 4, Ghost of Tsushima. And long story short, they are very, very beautiful. But with this Antique, it has not been pushing out the best quality possible for PlayStation 4. It was just time to say, you know what? I want even better for my audience, and I want better for myself. And especially with the fact that this is going to future-proof, it's going to be ready for PlayStation 5 and the next generation of whatever else I use, maybe even PlayStation 6, depending on how high we go with that. But at least this will be pushing out boundless amounts of quality as well as content. So I was like, you know what? I just have to go with it. I have to go with it for, you know, my audience especially. And also the fact that I really have never had any issues with this whatsoever, besides a little bit of software conflicts and whatnot, because it's an Antique now. Just in case you do not have a PCIe slot on your computer for this bad boy, go check out the other hardware that they have that are external. They have the S Plus, and whatnot, and feel free to check those out. Those will be pretty much the same as this. It's just HDMI, and a USB thing that runs to your computer. And without further ado, thank you all for checking this out. Hopefully you pick up one of those bad boys, and if you have any questions, I'm sure I'll get to them, or one of the Elgato staff or whoever on this page, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch you in a stream. Peace.